How's it going, guys? My name is EnergyPants, and today I'm here to bring you guys my top 5 favorite anime I watched as a kid. So keep in mind, this is my opinion, so leave your guys' top 5 favorite anime from when you were kids down in the comment section below. Hopefully I sound different, or maybe even better, because I'm using my new mic. I'd also like to say before this video starts that I'll try to bring you guys weekly uploads of top lists, and there may be a review here and there. But please just don't expect weekly uploads. YouTube isn't as fun for me when I feel obligated by a schedule to make videos rather than uploading whenever I don't feel like it. But I'll try my best to do at least one video a week for you guys. So, that said, let's get into the list. Coming in at number 5 is Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is a show, honestly, it's an extreme cop-out for this, let's be 100% honest with you. As a kid, Dragon Ball Z is kind of just what I threw in here. I watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid, but it wasn't nearly close to my favorite anime from when I was a kid. But honestly, I watched it, I liked it, it was great. I played the games, the fighting games or whatever, and honestly, if you didn't watch Dragon Ball Z ever, if you don't know what Dragon Ball Z is, who are you and how did you get here? But anyway, this honestly is a real cop-out, because honestly, like, I really didn't watch that much Dragon Ball Z as a kid, but honestly I loved it, to be honest with you. I mean, Dragon Ball Z was a good show. I mean, what else can I say about Dragon Ball Z? I mean, I watched it when I was a kid, so it should be on this list. Coming in at number 4 is Naruto, and honestly, Naruto is not a show that I watched so much as when I was a kid, but honestly, it was a huge part of my life when I was a teenager of around 13 years old or so. But literally, I watched and played the Naruto games all the time. I still play the Naruto games. I got the newest one recently too, and the Naruto games are amazing. But Naruto was just like a huge part of my teenage life. I used to watch with my friends all the time, and it was really the only anime I had seen at the time, other than Dragon Ball Z, of course. And you know, it was a really big part of my life at that time. So here it is at number 4, Naruto. Everybody's heard of Naruto, of course, as well. I mean, Naruto is one of the most freaking well-known anime out there, and I mean, it's a really good show. Honestly, even I watched the first season of it, or I watched Naruto, not so much Shippuden, because once I started getting into Shippuden, that was way too much anime for me. Like, literally, I think it's like at like 1 billion episodes now. I mean, literally, I think I'm cushioning it a bit when I say 1 billion episodes, but you know, honestly, I've only seen a little bit of it. I haven't seen a whole lot of Naruto, but I've watched a fair amount. And once I realized how long it was, I kind of just stopped watching altogether. But I still play the games. I love the games. But, you know, Naruto. Number 4, great show. Huge part of my life in my teenage years. Not so much when I was a kid, but I suppose it still justifies it being on here. Number 3 was actually a huge part of my younger life. Again, just like everything else on this list, was Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm sure everybody watching this video has at least, you know, heard or maybe even played the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games. Even honestly, I go back to, you know, even now I go back and play the card games sometimes. I download a demo for it on my Xbox, like the games they've had for it and stuff. And I still play the game from time to time. And honestly, the card game is still pretty fun, just for nostalgia's sake. And you know, but Yu-Gi-Oh! I still have shoe boxes full of cards, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and stuff. And you know, even I went back and watched the anime, the older. Now, keep in mind, when I watched Yu-Gi-Oh!, same with number 2, I watched the older stuff. No real new stuff when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly, I think the new stuff is, you know, completely utter garbage. But the old stuff, you know, the very original Yu-Gi-Oh! With Yu-Gi-Moto and, you know, whatever their names is, and Joey and Tamara, whatever her name is. But you know, that one kid Tristan with the big spike on the front of his head. But yeah, that was. I went back and I watched that on Netflix, and believe me, that show is critically, for its time, I'm sure it's great, but in today's day and age, that show is not good at all, and the dub is absolutely atrocious. But yeah, I remember having like VHS tapes of Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, I know VHS tapes. I mean, I'm only 17, but most of you probably don't even know what a VHS tape is. It's like a box, and you put it in the VHS player, and it plays the videos when we didn't have DVDs and stuff. But I'm sure most of you know what a VHS is. But you know, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game and the anime I used to love. I used to play all the time. So I suppose that justifies it being here, I guess. Coming in at number 2 is Digimon. And honestly, I remember, I went back and watched this on Netflix too. Digimon, I had this one video that I've literally seen 1 billion times. Honestly, there was no card games for Digimon, but I liked Digimon more than Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time. And even though there was nothing corresponding to it in terms of merchandise, card games, and what have you, video games. I didn't play much of the video games of whatever there were, Digimon, but honestly, the show, I had this VHS tape again, and I used to watch that thing like on the daily, and it was crazy. Like, I mean, I went back and watched that same episode on Netflix, and it was like so nostalgic. I was just getting this feeling in my head like I've seen this a billion times. And honestly, the VHS tape that I had left out on a cliffhanger. I went back on Netflix, like I said, and I watched it. And the last episode on that VHS tape was a cliffhanger. I don't know how I did it as a kid, how I watched it without wanting to see more, but I didn't have any more, so I was just stuck in that arc with a huge cliffhanger. So now I can go back and watch it on Netflix and get the resolution that I somehow didn't crave as a kid. But yeah, Digimon. I mean, it was so nostalgic going back and watching that on Netflix. It was crazy. I remembered everything about those few episodes that I watched like religiously as a kid, and I even wanted to be Ty, the kid with the goggles, for Halloween one year. That was, I even wanted to wear it to church on a Sunday one time, and that was pretty funny. I had my hair all spiked up, and I don't think I had goggles, but I dressed just like him. But that was a good time. So I'm sure number one isn't a surprise to any of you. If you know me personally, if you know, you've seen my old channel antics, you've seen anything that I've done, my older stuff, you know what number one is going to be. Number one is Pokemon. And honestly, Pokemon is still a huge part of my life even today, but as a kid, I played the games, I had the cards, I watched the anime. It was literally a huge part of my life, and it still is today. Not so much the anime, but the games. The games, Pokemon games, are what my channel was founded on, not at the very beginning, but later on. And until I transitioned to anime, it's Call of Duty first, then Pokemon, then anime. But Pokemon was a huge part of my life. Like I said, I had the card games. I loved the card games. Even though I never knew how to play, collecting them was the most fun thing ever. I honestly love collecting Pokemon cards. I thought it was like the best thing ever. Trading them with friends and stuff. All my friends were into it, and that made it even better. The games, I've memorized the games by now. I guarantee you, I can play these games with my eyes closed by now. About three-fourths of them I can play with my eyes closed. I've played every single one of them at least twice, some even more. Especially like Ruby and Sapphire, I've played through 4 or 5 times because I just love these games so much. And the anime was good. And I remember there was this episode of Pokemon I had on VHS tape. I used to watch when I was a kid, and it used to make me cry. I cried as a kid watching this show. And it wasn't even that sad. I go back and watch it now, and it's not even that sad. But literally, this show, it was amazing. I had, VHS tapes stacked like Pokemon videos, and I watched them all the time. I mean, literally, it was probably it was the most influential show on me when I was a kid in terms of, anime. But I mean, I was in love with Pokemon. I still am. I still love the games. I still play the games. The anime is still fun to go back and watch from time to time too. Honestly, nostalgia is so real for Pokemon. It's really fun. That's the best part about these shows, especially the top 3. Going back and watching these old shows that I grew up watching is just something that I absolutely love. And for 3 out of 4 of these shows, I mean, not 3 out of 4, but for a majority of these shows, honestly, the older stuff is more fun to watch. Honestly, I can't watch new episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just gone to poop. I think Digimon, I'm honestly gonna watch the new season of Digimon. It's coming out in spring. I think it's like Digimon Tai. I couldn't tell you, but I can't wait for the new season of Digimon. Honestly, I don't think that's gonna be bad. But literally the older stuff was what what I love. I love going back and watching that stuff. And Pokemon is also in the same boat as Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's honestly just going downhill from where it is, honestly. But there are a few exceptions. I even had all the movies of Pokemon I have too. I still have them. The first movie of Pokemon is like one of my favorites. I found it at Target one day. Oh my gosh, I was so happy. I can go on and on about Pokemon, as I am right now. But Pokemon, huge part of my life as a kid. All these shows, especially 1 through 3. 1 through 3 were the most influential on me as a kid, and 4 and 5 were more later on, teenage years. Because the shows even reflect that. 1 through 3 are more centered towards kids, especially Pokemon. 4 and 5 are more like shonen type anime. They are shonens, I guess, are more shonen, mature type anime. So, But anyway, all these anime on this list influenced my life hugely, and I love all of them. I mean, whether I watch them or not today I still love them. And I loved them at the time, and they were hugely influential on me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Please leave a like if you did. My name's EnergyPants, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.